After the incredible successes of Shadows of Evil and Eisendrache, it was evident that Black Ops 3's second DLC map would be fighting an uphill battle to impress the inflated players' standards. So when Zetsubou No Shima dropped on April 19th of 2016, it's really no surprise that it was met with groans, especially as game-breaking bugs destroyed much of the Easter egg hunting experience. Misunderstood, overcomplicated, Zetsubou really is the black sheep of Black Ops 3. While the community slammed it for its questionable Easter egg, its convoluted mechanics, and its determination to slow the game down to a crawl, what if I told you that that same frustration is also its genius? A map that didn't try to tweak the zombies formula, but completely break it as a way of rebuilding something new. And with negativity still lingering almost a decade on, to what extent can Zetsubou be regarded as a failure? And if not, what the hell is it? Today, we're going to discuss the map and how its incredibly paradoxical Easter egg was first discovered by the community. 4 upgradable elemental wonder weapons, an incredible boss fight, and the goddamn moon exploding, all encapsulated in a bright snowy playground, was incredibly contrasted to the slow-paced, green swampy jungles players found themselves in on the Island of Despair. Huge Black Friday deals, but only if you use code EVAN at Cheeky or Gamersubs. Link is down below, and make sure you don't miss out on the best deals on the entire website. From the start, the map makes a statement to the players. They are going to have to work for everything. Cobwebs strangled gobblegum machines, perk machines, and even doors, while strange seeds, spooky skulls, and cryptic ciphers all added to the atmosphere and the confusion of the map. However, it's important to note that much of the map's puzzles were actually discovered well before its official release date. Unlike previous maps, there wasn't anything suspicious here, and instead the information came from a Treyarch hosted early capture event, where much of the core mechanics were solved, such as the pack-a-punch, the power, the shield, and the very important gas mask that we'll discuss more later. You want power in Zetsubou? Cool. Here's a multi-step side quest just to flip the damn switch. Fill up 2 separate water stations, sink them, unclog a turbine, then survive a claustrophobic zombie defense underwater. Now, if you want Pack-a-Punch too, that's a whole fetch quest behind locked doors, each costing 1,250 points. For players at the time, Zetsubou really just felt like perpetual building as a way of building something else. And while some players liked this increased technical nature, many felt this was just a Snorefest checklist of chores. However, those annoying innovations are not to say that all of the ideas Treyarch brought to the table were received poorly back in 2016. A mini boss fight for a free perk, a horrifying mother spider lurking in the depths, and a new mini boss zombie, the Thrasher, that didn't just attack, but actively sabotaged your revives by kidnapping down players, forcing your teammates to chase after you to revive you. All of these ideas showed the enormous potential Zetsubou had, and that's before we even discuss 2 more huge core mechanics players had to contend with. Seeds and plants were really an underrated feature of Zetsubou, proving to be a clever evolution of the fumigator pods found in Shadows of Evil. Players could water plants with 3 different colors of irradiated water, each creating a different result, from free power-ups to a crawler holder, to straight up reviving you as a clone of yourself, as well as rainbow water Easter eggs that turn the frogs gay. However, probably the biggest core change that sets Zetsubou apart from previous maps is the swimming. Swimming wasn't just a goofy, gimmicky gameplay mechanic though. It was well integrated into the map's Easter egg, its wonder weapon, its power, and pack-a-punch, which was a pretty clean innovation, even if the zombies become mermaids with how fast they'd swim and swipe at players. With all of the features and innovations we've just discussed, both good and bad, it's easy to feel lost or confused. And that's exactly how Treyarch wanted you to feel. Zetsubou doesn't want you to feel powerful like Eisendrache. It wants you to feel lost and desperate, drowning in the dark jungle's madness. The Easter egg in its day 1 world's first hunt would only add to this confusion and madness, with the 26-hour hunt being filled with puzzling, convoluted, and sometimes just downright damn stupid steps that included everything from hidden walls and even shooting a plane out of the sky. As always, I'll be sticking to the most authentic version version of the events, with as much historic footage as possible. So let's dive into another Blundell era brainbuster. As I mentioned previously, many of Zetsubo's core features had been cracked at the early capture event, but there were actually 2 major Easter egg steps found in this pre-launch period too.
Because I was the only YouTuber who went out to Treyarch to record this DLC early. I was the only YouTuber to figure out all 3 steps of the KT4 and actually craft this thing out.
While at this point in Zombies, players had become used to the buildable wonder weapons, the KT4 felt different, with the part gathering mission really feeling more like an actual adventure rather than a straight up fetch quest. First, players had to kill a glowing green zombie. Then they had to trap a baby spider with bait and extract its venom like some sort of twisted science experiment, before diving deep into a lab to grab an underwater plant from the abyss. While on paper it sounds like any old fetch quest, in execution it really felt like unraveling some dark, secretive jungle experiment that would get a whole lot crazier when it came to the upgrade steps. The skull rituals discovered at the capture event were less impressive than the KT4 quest, simply requiring a mini lockdown to be completed at 4 separate locations to cleanse the skull. And guess what? They dropped no points, because no fun is allowed in the swamp. Thank you, Treyarch. The payoff from this step, however, was well worth it.
What? So, let's do it. Do it. Go for it.
It happened twice at the event, and it's happened to multiple people in like Twitter and stuff.
Whoa!
So, down we go,
Whoa,
baby.
what the fuck is going on?
All right, now everyone. What? Why did I get killed? It just deleted me from the map.
Just die.
More on game-breaking glitches like that later, with the cleansing of all 4 skulls revealing a hidden, lore-filled tomb that held something strange. A lamp. But this wasn't just any lamp. Players noticed that it looked eerily like a keeper's skull. Specialist weapons were a cool addition to Zombies, with the sword and Ragnarok being fun in Shadows of Evil and Eisendrache respectively. But this skull was even cooler. It could stun zombies to a standstill, and most importantly, hint at something pretty massive to come. But before players could even process that, they found themselves face to face with a giant spider boss.
Oh, mama! No, legit like mama!
The boss's lair was found within an hour of the map's release, and after the KT4 had cleared the webs blocking the entrance. Mr. Dalek JD was the first to upload actual gameplay of this fight, and in the early stages of the hunt, there was some speculation that this boss could only spawn past round 25, but this was later proven to be untrue.
Yeah, it doesn't do anything, guys. I have to get to round 25.
Why did you lie?
The best part about this fight is that it actually meant something, and hunters were meaningfully rewarded. Extracting its venom fang would be vital in upgrading the KT4, and with the added bonus of free unlimited Widow's Wine for the entire team.
What is this? Widow's Wine? Can I drink fresh Widow's Wine?
However, this spider boss wasn't actually the biggest bug on the map, with several much bigger, more game-breaking bugs being present at this map's launch. Zetsubo had one of the buggiest launches of any Zombies map to date. Noah J was slain by an invisible death barrier right after killing the spider boss.
Why did you do that?
Funny.
And while this was happening, other players were facing desyncing thrashers that could one-hit them from across the map, with other players also facing similar game-breaking or soft-locking bugs. Treyarch's QA team were seemingly lost in the island's jungle, and it really only helped to exaggerate the already growing Zetsubou No Shima paradox. It was one of the most ambitious Zombies maps ever made, yet much of this was masked by truly frustrating design choices. One of these questionable design choices would be in the next Easter egg step that would eventually be found to center around the highly contentious Gobblegums. This step caused a bit of a roadblock for players until someone used the anywhere but here Gobblegum and found that it teleported them to a somewhat secret and previously unreachable room where they would find the cog part needed to progress. This really might be one of the stupidest Easter egg steps in Easter egg hunt history, as if a player or a team did not have this Gobblegum equipped, they simply would be unable to progress in the Easter egg. And it seems weird that Treyarch would allow players to set up for failure from the very start. This step was found accidentally by Daniel Cho, who calls himself a genius for finding this step. And I mean, he's kind of right.
Oh my god. Oh, I'm a fucking genius. Oh, they trapped me? I mean, dude, I'm in a... Dude, what is this?
I even found an article on Reddit from a player who had just prestiged, so he didn't have the Anywhere But Here Gobblegum unlocked, and therefore was unable to do the Easter egg until they leveled up, which seems incredibly overlooked by Treyarch, and I'm not sure we've ever seen an Easter egg step that was so heavily gatekept to this point. But in many ways, this serves as a perfect microcosm for all of the issues that Zetsubo would face. The next steps of the Easter egg to be discovered were in the form of two fun innovations on older zombies mechanics. When the map launched, one of the first things players had noticed was the existence of 3 pillar challenges for each player, a clear innovation on the simpler static challenges found in Origins. But it was unclear what completing these challenges would allow players to do. Noah J began to talk about a theory that the shield had to be charged or powered in some way, as the achievements list alluded to this.
In the achievements, there's a way to get like an electric shield. So I'm wondering if this is possibly some way to do that.
It was nice to see that Treyarch were experimenting on and innovating the shield more in Black Ops 3, but it was unclear whether Noah was doing the right thing, well, until this happened.
Plant. It's not special, it doesn't do anything different, it's just a new type of plant.
Spirits of lightning have bestowed great power upon the shield.
Yes! Dude! Yes! I now have the electric shield.
Moments before this clip, a viewer in Noah's chat named ShadowKiller453 donated $2 to him and alluded to another possible Easter egg step in their message. This message and step helps to highlight another big change for Easter eggs in Zetsubo, shifting things in a non-linear direction, with many of the steps discussed so far being possible to complete in pretty much any order, which was very different to Easter eggs in previous games, and even different to Shadows of Evil and Eisendrache. After getting the lightning shield and following discussions and discovery with his chat, an interesting sequence of events played out on Noah J's stream.
Dragon Guys has been sticking around the stream and haven't seen the zipline yet. Wonder if you can show it off. You know what? I have 56,000 points. Let's go ahead and zipline. All right, here we go. The zipline. Wait.
Jump pads any day.
Is there a way we can clear this? Hold the phone. Okay. Look at the very, very end of the dock. Look at the very end of the dock. Zipline in use. Here we go. Look at the very end of the dock. Right there. Does that not look like something suspicious? Shock the zipline? Ooh, that'd be really fun, actually. Oh, yes. You guys are so right. That would be really... Okay, you guys are genius-eye.
Now, if this don't make an all-American badass entrance, I don't know what will.
So that did something. This way.
While these events were happening, a Twitter user named Sync Jr. posted footage of some rainbow water that his teammates had discovered. Noah even asked how he discovered this, and Sync was just as clueless, claiming his teammates had found it and he was just checking theater mode to see what he had done. The solution turned out to be timing an interact on a glowing 115 rock, as a player quickly washed through the sewer system. This was a well-hidden, but honestly pretty clever step. However, this is where the hunt got weirdly confusing. So Noah was the first person to find the actual first step past the skull lamp with the footage that we have remaining.
I just revealed something. I don't know what. I just revealed something.
However, earlier in this same stream, he mentioned that mesmerizing the door by the elevator would open it up, but also claims that someone DM'd him on how to do it. This step was actually a minor plot twist, as mesmerizing the poster revealed that this map and facility had additional hidden layers to it, and it would be accessed by a currently broken elevator.
I fear broken elevator may be Russian-made. Anyone have a wrench?
With the knowledge of the electric shield he had discovered before, Noah tried another idea from chat. Since getting the KT-4 had required baiting a spider into a cage on the other side of the map, it seems somewhat logical that one of the other cages possibly had a role to play in the upgrade process. This step is another example of an excellently executed innovation on Zetsubo, transporting players to an, albeit small, new area and spicing things up on what could have otherwise just been a simple find the blue vial around the map step. It's also kind of a step that you can mess with your friends and be a bad teammate if you want to, and you can just put them in timeout forever down here. Shortly after this, the rainbow water mystery would get solved after a Noah J chatter named Shifty Gamer passed on the information about that step.
Shifty Gamer says, go down to where the flowers are for the wonder weapon for the first game and use the skull. It will open the hole and plant a seed in the water will grow a new set of flowers.
It seemed like things were falling in line, as not long after this, Noah J ended up picking up the plant on his stream. Combining the spider venom with the blue vial and now the plant down in the water allowed the crafting of the upgraded wonder weapon. And now it was clear to Easter egg hunters that the conclusion of this map was closer than ever. While upgrading the wonder weapon is a milestone moment in any Easter egg, following the craft of it in Zetsubo, there was a bit of a roadblock as players theorized the next step, a step that Noah had accidentally theorized earlier in the hunt as well.
That stupid plane. I swear, if the cog is in the plane, I'm gonna freak. I don't think it is, though. I don't think it is. I think it's on the map somewhere.
A few hours later, after this clip was made, Noah's worst fears were somewhat confirmed, and I'll just let him express his frustration at the seemingly RNG nature of this step.
Tungsten says, me and my friend were playing. We managed to get a missile from a plant, possibly for the AA turret. Last cutter water we put in was blue, if that helps. Missile. That would definitely help. And the thing that I'm kind of like stuck on right now is that literally the next step of the Easter egg might just be you putting the right combination of water into a plant, and so that it gives you stuff.
The solution would be to grow a plant with blue water and shoot the Masamune for 3 rounds in a row to cultivate it into a plant that had the chance to grow an anti-aircraft bullet. This could then be loaded into an anti-aircraft gun and fired at the plane that periodically passed across the map.
Go for it. Go for it. Go for it.
Hey! What? He made it.
I did it. I got it.
Whoa!
Hey!
I got it.
Milo did it.
Yeah, baby.
Wait, what's that? What's that? What's that?
All right.
What's that falling piece?
Okay.
That's the cog.
Green water, baby.
All right.
Green
Oh
water.
my god! I'm a gangster!
It's
All right, the
lit.
cog's gonna be smoking, so look for it smoking, okay?
But bear in mind, you can easily miss the shot. All that being said, this step was so cool and so cinematic, yet so frustrating as its discovery was fundamentally based on RNG. And it would have been nice for Treyarch to leave some sort of hint around the map to lead players to this conclusion in a more natural way. However, with all 3 cogs for the elevator found and over 24 hours into the race, the community was about to enter the boss fight of Zetsubou No Shima for the very first time. Earlier in the video, I mentioned that the gas mask would play a very important role in this Easter egg, and it would be this exact moment that I am talking about. If a player went into this elevator without one, surviving would be all but impossible and destroy all of the progress that they had made to this stage. We needed a gas mask. I'm cooked. Unfortunately, most of the world's first boss fight footage is lost to time, but descending down the elevator shaft for the very first time must have felt incredibly adrenaline inducing. But the question on the community's lips was, how the hell would Treyarch follow up the incredible cinematic multi-phase boss fight that we just saw a few months prior in Eisendrache? The answer was, well, they just simply wouldn't. Noah was the first to fight this thing solo and off stream, but fittingly for Zetsubo, a critical bug had soft locked the boss fight, forcing him to restart. The giant Thrasher boss was a shining example of Zetsubo's incredible unconventional design choices. However, unfortunately, I think this fight falls more into the questionable than fun department. Only the wonder weapon could deal damage to the boss, meaning anyone without it was basically on ad clear duty. This fight was also a step back in difficulty from the keeper boss, with no jeopardizing wipe mechanic, which was good news for Spider Bite at least. After Noah had been forced to reset, the world's first team to complete the boss would be the team of Starburst, Fantastical, Gamer, and Giovanno, who were the first to see this incredible cutscene for the first time. Zetsubo's ending was a perfect metaphor for the entirety of the map, a paradoxical map that showed the fruits and dangers of innovation, with basically the entire map boiling down to RNG gardening and repairing an elevator. Zetsubo was a warning to Treyarch that unconventional community-wide hunts can reach a frustration point of being overly obscure, and only time would tell if Treyarch would learn from this in the future.